A popular online video showcased a specific ant species, Polyrachis bihomata, in the clip. The presenter carefully examined a prominent, hook-like structure on the ant's body. It appeared quite intimidating. This feature is recognized as a formidable weapon, not found in all ant species. Given their distinct and assertive look, I became quite intrigued and wanted to acquire some to get to know them better. I discovered a website offering them for just over $372. I quickly placed an order for a single queen ant along with 11 to 20 worker ants. While awaiting their arrival, I researched their behavior, learning they naturally thrive in the tropical rainforest to give these fascinating creatures the best possible home. I planned a series of steps, starting with constructing their ideal environment. My first step was to prepare a spacious, empty tank to perfectly mimic a forest setting. I began by applying foam inside, which would serve as the forest floor and securely hold 4 pieces of unique spiderwood. I selected the spiderwood because its appearance brings to mind ancient trees with gnarled roots, establishing a wild and enigmatic atmosphere. More crucially, these pieces would offer an ideal spot for the ants to construct their nests, allowing them to remain hidden within the wood, just as they would in the wild, as the foam dried. I used the time to create a special gateway, a hidden passage the ants could use for entry and exit before it sealed itself, seemingly vanishing. The next task involved trimming the foam and installing this door within the setup. The whole scene was beginning to look like a genuine forest. Still, it felt a bit sparse, so I considered adding some forest ferns. Their leaves, I thought, might provide excellent hiding places for the ants during their hunts, to enhance the realism. I also incorporated gravel and moss throughout the environment. And just like that, my order arrived, and I carefully introduced the ants into their new home. Thankfully, my new residents were healthy, and their striking appearance was the first thing that truly captivated me. I took a deep breath and carefully picked one up to inspect it closely in my hand. They certainly live up to their reputation as one of the most impressive ant species in the region, a truly small yet powerful warrior. What I absolutely need to highlight is the remarkable hook located on the ant's chest. Each hook measures about 1/3 of its body length, featuring a sharp, gently curved, yet incredibly hardened tip. Don't let their elegant appearance deceive you. This is a formidable weapon designed to make any predator reconsider. Once it latches onto an opponent's flesh, it can become a brutal and unforgettable ordeal for them. And their jaws are equally serious, a slight miscalculation. And I could have been bitten. Luckily, I was wearing gloves. These ants are remarkably aggressive and constantly alert, prepared to defend their nest with their razor-sharp chest hooks, which function as natural weapons. I realized I needed a strategy to gradually get closer to them. My first step was to carefully observe and distinguish the worker ants from the queen. In the test tubes, all the ants displayed their characteristic hook-shaped mandibles. However, one clearly stood out with a distinct hunched back, identifying her as the queen of the entire colony. The queen is larger, and her spines might appear somewhat less sharp since she doesn't directly participate in combat. The actual fighting is left to the tough worker ants, who possess 2 distinctive curved hooks on their backs. These hooks are almost 1/3 of their body length and as sharp as symmetrical fish hooks. These hooks aren't merely for identification. They are also sharp and formidable defensive weapons capable of injuring prey. Moving on to my next discovery, I was very curious about the actual size of these insects. Compared to most ants, these are certainly larger. For instance, they're noticeably bigger than common house ants or fire ants. You could even try comparing them to an elephant. I was just joking, of course, but they are indeed quite substantial in the ant world. Now, let's take a moment to admire the striking beauty of this ant species as they explore their new forest. They emerge from a hidden doorway, their eyes sharp, and by instinct. These ants are always driven to explore their surroundings. I had an idea to playfully interact with these ants by creating a miniature hook and trying to fish for them. It sounds a bit wild, partly because I'm so thoroughly impressed by the incredible design nature has given them. However, getting close enough would be a real challenge. Would I be fortunate enough to actually catch one? I cautiously dropped the bait, aiming directly for their back, what seemed like an easy-to-exploit weak point. No luck, and to complicate things, one of them spotted me and immediately launched an attack. Their defense is truly formidable. Finally, I managed to catch one pretty interesting moment. Right. Feel free to leave a comment below and let me know your thoughts. Next, I'll prepare a tempting menu of different foods to see which one these special guests enjoy the most. The menu included plump worms, sweet honey, and a cockroach. Strangely, these new friends only chose to eat the honey, completely ignoring the protein-rich options. They started gathering around the honey in steadily growing numbers, seeing their apparent hunger. I added even more honey instantly. The spreading scent drew in more ants, and soon, even larger groups began to arrive. They even appeared to be kissing each other right in front of me. Oh, wait, that's how they actually share food with each other. It's inherent in ant nature to always cooperate, rather than work alone. So the sight of them signaling each other to eat is a common behavior across all ant species. A question then came to mind: how effectively would these hooks truly perform in a real-life situation? Just then, a nocturnal creature emerged, brandishing a deadly curved tail and razor-sharp pincers. This dark scorpion relies on the power of its two pincers, so if an ant crossed its path, it would swiftly grab it. However, the ant colony's sheer numbers were overwhelming. After a brief clash, the scorpion had no choice but to retreat. No sooner had that dark scorpion vanished than a bearded dragon with his keen hunting instincts ventured into the territory of these hook-jawed ants. It clearly had its eyes on this particular forest, but perhaps it's merely a strategy involving my ants. Not a single aggressive move was made, because taking over this space is certainly no easy task. Eventually, it too had to move on. However, another creature then boldly charged in without any warning, adorned with striking patterns and making peculiar sounds. It continuously made aggressive movements, revealing itself to be a hungry gecko, eager to devour the ant colony. How about I introduce the tarantula warrior next? What do you think will happen? Looks intimidating, right? Vibrant colors, fuzzy legs, but honestly not nearly as dangerous as it appears. Wait, what's that moving? Something tiny, twitching, probably just a quick snack out for a stroll. Oh wow, these little guys have spikes. Yikes, and there are so many of them. I'm out of here. Let me out. Wow, this honey is delicious. Come on, everyone, just eat it. Don't worry about that other creature. Hey, you guys, I said I want to leave. I don't want to be here anymore. From watching a simple online video to creating an entire artificial jungle, I never imagined I'd end up living with and growing so fond of a fierce army of hook-clawed ants like these. But this is only the beginning. More thrilling encounters are on the way, and my tiny army is ready. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe so you won't miss any of the wild adventures in this jungle.